to the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show with your host, Michael Carvelis.
Boom! Did you miss me? Did you miss this show? Did you miss the National Lacrosse League? Well, here's the thing. You still got to wait another month on that. But we're here. We're live. It's season trace, baby. We're ready to rock and roll. This is Daily Dive live on 12 Sports via X/Twitter and YouTube. We thank you so much for tuning in. The only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. I'm your host, Michael Carvelis, and guy in Georgia, producer producer Joe, is in Banditland, New York. We, again, thank you for tuning in. We're back. We're ready. We got guests. We got awesome stuff going on this year. You don't want to miss it. We don't want to miss it. I'm not going to miss it because I got to be here every day anyways, contractually. That's okay. On today's show, of course, you are watching Hype Month 2024. Sorry, we're still got 30 days. I know for the Rush, they have 40 days, but that's on them, not us. We're heating up. But today's show, we're going to have a topic called Extinct, where I talk about Panther City folding like lawn chairs. We're also going to have a guest, Brendan Glasheen, who has been versed on Albany FireWolves training camp in the WNBA, if that helps you. And, of course, chosen number one, but we'll explain that with Brennan O'Neill as well. So, without further ado, I want to first mention this show is going to be once again presented by tickets.12onsports.com. Because remember, you want to experience the best lacrosse league in the world. Hello, Paul Rabel. You've got to go to tickets.12onsports.com. It's tickets.120zsports.com for those that are listening on audio, which will also be available in Season 3 on Spotify and other places if I can finally get the Apple going. Apple's a pain in the butt to use, but who cares? But yeah, tickets.12onsports.com. By the way, we also have merchandise. So click the link tree in our social media bios at Daily Dive LAX, and you will find the amazing merchandise, including maybe some more coming when the regular season starts. We don't know. We're just saying. But yeah, thanks so much for all your support. By the way, there's only 6 tickets left for the Calgary at Vancouver game I found out on December 28th, and that's almost impressive. So there you go. All right, first thing we're going to get into in this show, and this is listen, viewer discretion is advised if you're watching. It is, of course, Extinct. Panther City, yeah, this is bad. This is a tough look. On YouTube at Daily Dive LAX, you might have seen where I already commented about this on a show called Vegas Square Morning Show. I kind of ranted about it because I feel like National Lacrosse League is also sports. But this is where I'm going to officially break it down and tell you what really happened and what I heard all offseason long, because this was tough. This was tough to see. Basically, I want to first start off by saying I really, 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 really liked Panther City Lacrosse Club, and I cannot stress that enough. I loved this team, like, with a passion. And I was maddened. A team I had fallen in love with had been slaughtered to death by some poachers. I'm assuming those are poachers. They have a nice dog, though. That poor dog's in that photo. That makes me sad. But anyways, the team folded, and here's what happened, okay? So we were being told by different folklores that nearby Allen, Texas could have been the spot, kind of like the Las Vegas Desert Dogs did, where they relocated without relocating. But no one seems to know where that went by the wayside. And I don't know why. No one seems to know what happened after that. And then, of course, the big one was what I worded it wrong. Okay, we all know Adam Levy words things correctly. I worded it wrong and said they're going to Charlotte. And to be fair, that was almost a thing. But then we found out, not Charlotte, because and this is the most frustrating thing of this entire process, besides the way the National Lacrosse League and others were handling it. The most frustrating thing was when I heard that the Charlotte location fell through because the person wanting to buy needed an investment. You cannot make what happens in this league up, okay? I want to buy this team for however money, $100,000, right? Okay, show us the money. I'll be right back. I'm going to an investor. Like, oh my God, shoot me. Like, that's why my report fell through, is because some idiots had people believing he had money when he didn't. Mother. I give up. I give up. I'm not happy. Neither are the Panthers in Panther City that were, I know there's probably not any Panthers in Panther City, but if there were, they wouldn't be happy either. But that was such a fun team. Not like anyone knew in Dallas, Texas what was going on because no one cared. But here's another interesting loop to this, is that the Lax Mag has pulled a player poll, and throughout Hype Up Month, we will be kind of referencing this player poll along with the NLPA player poll. And the Lax Mag's player poll, that's a mouthful, 33% of 75 players across the league interviewed blamed the Panther City ownership. 30% blamed the previous commissioner, Nick Sakowicz. And 27% blamed Dallas-Fort Worth market, which to me is an excuse. Like, I know, like, putting things in the middle of nowhere, or putting things where people can't access them is a pain in the butt. But I think the sport sells itself if you actually try to sell it. That's why I'm going to go with the Panther City ownership. But can we also do a little thing here? And I'm not just doing this because it's popular to say. Can I also blame Caitlin Clark? And I'm going to tell you why WNBA/women's basketball superstar Caitlin Clark comes up in my mind for this. Because if Caitlin Clark did not sell out tickets, like sell out WNBA arenas, I don't think the Dallas Wings ownership, who had a hand in this extinction, I don't think they actually, and I could be wrong, but I don't think they're as sold on just doing WNBA. Because it seems like they kind of got hell-bent on doing WNBA because it took off and the NLL was still going like this. And so that's frustrating. No shade to Caitlin Clark. I just thought it was a funny thing to mention because it kind of is true. Regardless, that's what I heard. The last part of this is that there was a dispersal draft that happened. So all of your favorite players are actually on different teams now. If you were a Panther City fan, if you like Jonathan Donville, who's a media sensation, I'm finding out. If you liked Nick Damoud, if you like Callum Crawford, friend of the show, yeah, they're all on different teams now. So welcome to 2024. Welcome to Season 3. Okay, coming up next, we might have a guest, but if not, if he's not here yet, we're going to get to a Brennan O'Neill topic. So we're going to keep you guessing on the other side, but thanks so much for watching Daily Dive. Don't go anywhere. I know you won't.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money.
and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
America, get back on track with Dust Pod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. One of my favorite guests, and of course yours too, that is Brendan Glasheen. How are you, sir? How have you been?
I'm great. We're live. Great. Thank
so.
you. Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
So, and thanks again for coming on. I will say this. Ever since Albany lost in the championship, they put up a fight, by the way. Ever since they lost, you did a bunch of WNBA games. Congrats to you on that as well. You do an awesome job. And you also got hitched, from what I can tell.
Yes.
Hey! Yes! And producer Joe is going to shoot me if I don't show this to you. Here's an updated graphic for you, sir.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I love Jason Sudeikis got the foreground there, but there is in there a wedding photo. So, yeah.
Thank you. Geez, some of these are really deep dives.
I like
Daily
them.
dive. Yeah.
Yeah. Brendan Glasheen dive.
Yeah, but life's good summer. Yeah, good WNBA summer for the league as a whole, no question, as we all know. And yeah, married life at this point. So things are good. We're getting into the winter now, though. So here we go.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I've got a few things because the first thing people want to know, and I want to know, are you the voice of Albany once again on ESPN Plus?
Yes. Back for another season of Albany FireWolves Lacrosse. Yes. Love
it, dude. You were awesome at that, and so I'm happy. You seem like you also love the team. I know like you're a newer NLL fan like I am, so that's awesome to hear. What are the vibes like in Albany from what you can tell after losing to Buffalo? We don't have to get into the training camp part yet, but what did you feel was the team's mentality after they lost to the Bandits?
Well, considering the hot start to the year and then a 5-game losing streak towards the tail end of the season, it was a young, hungry group, a new group last year that pieced it together and went on a dangerous run, really with nothing to lose, right? I don't think folks like their chances, generally speaking. They'll tell you otherwise, but, Halifax, veteran team, San Diego, veteran team, got through those two franchises, and then of course meeting with Buffalo, which is what we see in pro sports now all the time. You run into an all-time great team and all-time great players. That's what all-time great teams and great players do, is they get in the way of the next champion or the up-and-coming group. But I think to get a taste of that and having some peaks and valleys throughout the course of the year, they learned that, hey, we can be pretty good. It also, they found out throughout last year that, hey, it can come tumbling down fast in that league if you're not fully right. It's cliche. I know we hear it all the time in the NFL, but if you don't bring it each and every week, there are a lot of parallels in terms of morale, I feel like, in the NFL to the National Lacrosse League, a 1-game per week league. But no, I think, look, this group, they're hungry. There's continuity going into 24-25. Some new pieces I'm sure we'll talk about, but they've built a base with a dozen or so first-round picks, mostly their own picks, some coming via trade and free agency. And I think they've set the bar for this year, there are expectations, right? There are expectations now in Albany this year.
It's good to have, in my opinion, as a sports fan. So in a second, we talk about Joe Nardella. Well, I mean, we can do the training camp stuff now. How's everyone looking in training camp? I know Dyson Williams is the first one I want to ask you about, but you can touch on Joe Nardella as well if you want.
Yeah, Joe Nardella is a veteran presence, one of their few players in their 30s, which is, again, still the case
Yes.
with Colton Watkinson and Nardella leading the way. Nards was outspoken as a leader of the team over the weekend at training camp. I was there for a couple days. He's a steady presence, and the best part about Nardella is he brings it no matter what the case may be. If it's a practice, a shoot-around, a game, he's steady Eddie. He's not going to change who he is. And I know folks are familiar with his game in the PLL as well. Joe's a consummate pro, and he's just very consistent. Of course, his particular role with faceoffs is huge, and we saw the differences having him for a full season last year and then being out for the year in 22-23, what impact he had for Albany in terms of just possessions, and also he continues to grow as a good defender. He's not a liability out there. I think that happens sometimes in the NLL. Yes, the draws are important, winning 75-80% of your draws. 80's, of course, the high end of that. But also being a steady defender and can stay on the floor. So Joe Nardella is a veteran guy. He's no longer a guy, though. This is a compliment to him. This is no longer a surprise. He's an NLL player, and they've got expectations for him. But he keeps getting better. That's for sure. Oh,
I love Nardella. He's one of the his steady Eddie. I'm trying to think of a thing for Joe. I feel like there's a steady Eddie for Joe. We'll work on that.
No, everyone calls him Nards, and
that's fair.
And he's a fantastic guy too. We both have Boston roots, so we catch up quite a bit when we're in town in Albany. I have nothing but great things to say about Joe Nardella. I think he's an excellent player. He's a great pro.
I love that. So obviously Ty Kurtz and Dyson Williams took the league by storm last season. How is Dyson Williams? Have you seen him much, and how's he fitting in from what you can tell?
Dyson, of course, he's got top tier skills as the number one overall pick. Expectations for him as well, fitting into a team as the number one pick in a lot of cases, NLL, even going through some of the summer leagues, even PLL, like most teams that are getting the number one pick, you've got to be kind of a savior, but that is not what his role has to be. He's fitting into a program now with Simmons and Kurtz, as well as Ethan Walker, who is another young, but also he's super mature for his age. He's still pretty young for in terms of service time in the league. Dyson Williams is a big force, left-handed guy that they haven't had. Really, even going back to, New England and a little bit in Albany. Andrew Q is a sniper lefty, but I think it's fair to say that Dyson has several more qualities because of his size, how he can basically body it down inside as a power forward, but also he's super quick. He's fast. Deceivingly quick, because you look at him and go, all right, well, he's probably not their fastest guy. He's up there as far as some of their faster guys, offense or defense. So it's crazy when you play at Duke and you have expectations at the college level. What I do think that can't be understated is when you play in a big program like Duke at the college level, you do get some media attention. But when you play with so many other great players, you can kind of blend in. And for Dyson's case now in Albany, he's now just another piece of the puzzle. And I think that's how they're trying to work through it with him, that you don't have to come in here and score 80 goals. I mean, you can be just another guy and a really good player and a really young part of a young nucleus that's up and coming.
I love that.
I haven't had a chance to get to know him all that well, though. I mean, he's still, he just had the first weekend, but he's very humble, coachable. Of course, the connection to his father being the head coach in Vegas. That will be a special night in January when Vegas comes to Albany.
You have a fun time with that one.
Yeah, it would be really cool. A lot of other things going on there as far as what that night will mean for that family as well.
Yes.
And with his sister also being at UAlbany playing, that will be a really cool night for the Williams family, for both the Vegas Desert Dogs and for the Albany FireWolves organizations. But no, I mean, everyone's seen the fascinating thing too is everyone will see the tape on Dyson as far as how he will translate. And now for the other young guys that you mentioned, Kurtz, Simmons, those two specifically, even Sam Firth, who's still pretty young and had his moment in the finals with Colorado a few years ago, scoring his first ever goal. But now you've got tape on these guys as NLL players.
Exactly,
Albany will no longer be sneaking up on anybody. Now, with Dyson Williams in the mix, that's certainly going to change some of the patterns, some of the spacing, who's located where. But I'm sure, the rest of the league is eager to see how it all shakes out.
As a basketball guy yourself, I know you also see the similarities in the play styles. I love the spacing, how it works in the NLL as well. I love it.
Yeah, Dyson fits a lot of what they're looking to accomplish. And I think Eric Fennell is a key pickup. He's an older guy. Fennell's.
I was going to ask you, yeah.
Yeah, Fennell's another 30-year-old. Not many on the roster, but as most folks know, Fennell did not play last year due to an injury. I just getting kind of ready for the season. You're looking at some of the new additions. They're not many, but you look at his numbers in Halifax. He was about a 30-goal scorer. And he had 106 loose balls his last full year in the league. So as a role guy, an older guy, and he's played with other great players, such as Cody Jamieson, for instance, and some other young players. It's kind of a nice fit for Fennell. He understands that there's going to be he's going to be a veteran guy. He's going to be one of the voices of reason, I think, in that room. And he should flourish in what they're specifically asking him to do. So it's amazing what Albany's been able to do with their offense, considering what it looked like 2 years ago, after Resetaritz, after Ryan Benesh, after Q, Durston, and now going from the offense they had in 21-22 to see what it's even in 22-23, the year they didn't win a home game,
exactly,
3-win season, what it's transformed into. It's a credit to the front office, Glenn Clark, Clem Durazio, ownership. They have. This is the hard part. It's one of the hard parts. They have to play the games, right? But they have nailed their draft picks to this stage. They have nailed their picks. So that's
1,000%. There's more praise to go around, not just what you're saying. Like those guys, that whole team is. I love even the social media vibes. I love them. I love how they're looking with the way they do the mascot thing and everything. How about this? In this player poll that came out from the Lax Mag, they were asking how 24% of the players polled, which is one of the higher ones, were concerned with the stability of Albany. And of course, Glenn Clark has said on social media, I'm in the community, I'm interacting with a lot of people. There's a narrative that it's a hardened market, but we're trying to break that stereotype. It's another step in saying, look, we're committed to this community, we're committed to this arena. We want longevity and stability. As a person who obviously knows about that stuff locally like you do, what have you noticed Albany still doing in the offseason that maybe people don't see from just the casual point of view?
Yeah, they're putting in the work from a season ticket holder standpoint, making strides. That run to the finals is a huge a blessing in disguise to gain traction, to get interest. As someone who works in, the WNBA had a major influx of stars out of college this past year. What I can compare, when I look at the two leagues, very similar in terms of number of teams and the construct of a variety of things. Once someone walks into an NLL arena, it doesn't have to be just Albany. I think folks that might see a game for the first time in person, you kind of get that. You get that bug where you want to keep going back. You get hooked on it. And I think that occurred last April and May with that run. There was a great fan turnout at the training camp this past weekend. They opened it up to the fans just after 12:30 p.m. on Saturday to watch one of the practice sessions. They had about 150 to 200 people there at the Hudson Valley Community College rink that they use to get their practices in. So the vibes are good. Coach Clark went up in the stands. He's delivering messaging to the folks. And Glenn said this, when now with Glenn living in Market, there's a chance for him to be more present, whether it be media availability, out at the golf course with some friends, just even folks on his street. He's got people coming from his new home on the street coming out, checking out the game. So they're doing their thing. It doesn't happen overnight, as we know in this league. And Albany's had its ups and downs as far as pro franchises are concerned. But they're taking the right steps. And I think when you consider the play on the floor, having a younger group, fans can now grow up with this core. It was kind of neat, walking into the arena and even being at the front of the entrance area and folks are walking in. It seems like a small thing, but when someone walks in and says, "Look, there's Simmons," or "Look, there's Dougie," like nicknames, one word, like that carries weight. Right. But these guys are going to be here for a while, being first-round picks in market. And they're building something really special. So I think that part of it too. When they got to Albany, coming in following a pandemic, after the league didn't have a season, they had a really they had a unique mix of veterans and some young players going back now. But now they've gone completely young, and they want to retain their homegrown talent and build it up. So I mean, last year's last year, but you have to use it to build off of it. So I think they've done a really nice job. Their staff works really hard. And they're making strides. That's for sure. So I think Glenn's right.
Yeah, that's a great perspective about the COVID years. What do you have to build on? Nothing. The New England relocation, like that's not going to help you. I love it. One more thing I want to ask you before I let you go here is BetUS, I'm sure there's other places too, has released the odds for the upcoming season. At least before the season happens, and fourth best somehow is Albany at 8-1. I know you're probably not allowed to bet on this stuff, and even if you are, is that good value? I mean, like fourth best is good.
I don't know.
We're still being doubted here. Come on, man.
Mike, I don't know, man. I mean, there are veteran teams. I mean, look, Albany getting to the finals, they're going to be a team where they've got a window that is now expanded, seeing how it looked on the floor last year and adding, Dyson Williams, for example, to a young core. Not to mention Will Johansson was a lottery pick going back to last offseason, missed all of last year with the ACL. So Johansson, he's looked good in camp. I was actually very taken aback. I see he's normally wearing a suit with the coaches last year, and now he's got a uniform on. He's out there practicing in training camp. I think some folks might expect, other teams in the league that had down years to bounce back, such as a Colorado, for instance, Vancouver with Pulowski in year 2. And then you're going to have your Buffaloes, your Torontos, San Diego's retooling. I think that's the best word to use. But look, seeing how Albany rose last year and some of these other teams like Saskatchewan's younger, Vancouver has built something young. It's really hard to kind of figure out what is appropriate. I mean, I know Buffalo's the team to beat as the 2-time defending champions. It's really hard to three-peat in any league, any sport. But I think folks might be banking on experience. But I would say the experience that group in Albany had last year, reaching the finals at such a young age. I mean, I got all my Celtics gear on. We would say that about the Celtics, even though they had kicks at the can in the conference finals. Then they get to a finals. You're humbled by the greatness of Steph Curry, but having that taste, it proves to you mentally like, hey, we can get there, but we knew how hard it was. And this Glenn Clark reiterated this messaging. Remember how hard it was
he did
to get there. And that's why I led when we just first started talking. Like when you go 6-1 and you're kind of surprised in the league, you get Buffalo early in the year. You got Halifax early in the year last year. And then all of a sudden you lose 5 in a row. You're humbled really fast in that league. So seeing how they pieced it together and stayed the course, they're very talented. They're young, but they're very talented. And again, like I said, now they have expectations, which I think is a healthy thing. I think I'm with you on that one. That's healthy. That's good. It's a good problem to have. Now it's how you embrace them.
Could be a double-edged sword. We'll see. But where's my Miami Heat jersey? I'm kind of mad that you brought that, and I'm over here unprepared. So.
Oh, you're a Heat guy, huh? That team.
Right. Brennan, you were awesome as always. We're looking forward to hearing from you on this show and, of course, on the broadcast. Do your thing, man. Thank you again.
Thanks a lot. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely, guys. Brendan Glasheen, he's awesome, but we knew that. Again, WNBA voice of the Connecticut Sun. They are pretty good too. So he's got some good teams in his back pocket. I love it. When we come back, we're talking Brennan O'Neill, the chosen one. This should be fun. I react to the draft and other things too. But we'll be right back to Daily Dive. Don't go anywhere. I know you won't.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
America, get back on track with Dust Pod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DustPods or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for watching this video and, of course, subscribing to 12 Ounce Sports on YouTube. By the way, you can bet on anything from anywhere in the world. Go to mybookie.ag. Use the promo code 12OZSports in all caps, no spaces, for up to $1,000 first deposit bonus. Also, BetUS promo code 12OZ. They have NLL lines for 2024, NLL futures, that is. That's pretty awesome to see. Let's get into this. Chosen one. And what do we mean by chosen one? How about this? Chosen number one? Shout out producer Joe on the graphics if you're watching the show. That's awesome, right? So Brennan O'Neill, I know we talked about Dyson Williams earlier with Brendan Glasheen, and rightfully so, but this year's number one pick, Brendan O'Neill, it's interesting how this started off. Drafted first by the Wings, but there was so much speculation. How would he fit into box? He doesn't have much box experience. Does he even want to play? And then the NLL draft special, which I'll react to later on in future shows, happened. And during the interview with Panther City, how about all of his boys from Duke were there on Zoom when Brendan O'Neill got drafted. And then Brendan O'Neill raved about how much he loved box. He grew up watching the league, and he wants to play. He can't wait to play. Then there's this quote from Adam Levy on X/Twitter. Compared to field, Brendan said, box is a different movement. A lot less 10-yard runs and more lateral movements. It's something you've got to get used to. And I'll echo that by saying this. That was the quote that Brendan O'Neill had according to Adam Levy on X. It's interesting because I actually talked to Jake Nasso, who was at the Montana Lacrosse League I broadcasted, and Jake, who was also a teammate of Brendan and Dyson's, who was a roommate with Brendan, by the way. Jake told me he's another guy with limited box experience. Actually had no box experience prior to a couple weekends ago. He told me almost the same thing, like, yes, it's a different game. He said it's hard to not want to run really fast because sometimes those quick cuts, those quick jumps are different, and that's interesting. Hunter Smith said Brendan O'Neill is similar, and he said to Casey Powell. That's interesting. When I haven't watched a lot of Casey Powell tape, I more played the video game that he had from years ago, but I will actually watch that to compare because Brennan O'Neill's a big dude. He's a strong guy. I love him for the box game. I really love this guy for the box game. I think, honestly, he could be the future of the National Lacrosse League, in my opinion. I mean, I know I'm an Alex Simmons guy. I know Jeff Teed is amazing. I know Dane Smith and Josh Byrne. There's quite a few of them. Even Dyson Williams. Brendan O'Neill. He's special, man. And by the way, his PLL stats, see, we don't alienate those guys. In the PLL stats, Brendan O'Neill had the 12th most points last season in the Premier Lacrosse League as a rookie for the Denver Outlaws. Scored 17 goals with 8 assists. Actually, had 19 goals with 8 assists. I had to do like the whole math on a 2.1 point shot. But Brendan O'Neill, that guy, in just 10 games, scored like 30 points. Not a bad deal for a guy who is used to the field game. I'm so excited to see what he can do with the Philadelphia Wings. I really am. I'm stoked for this. I'm happy he wants to play. He's already done an interview with, I believe his name is Kyle Bennett, a guy who does a show. You can find Kyle Bennett on X. But yeah, Brendan O'Neill looks like he's ready. And I'm excited for him. I mean, could there be some growing pains? Sure. I think the dude's built, man. Oh, thank you, our good friend LJ Lacrosse. I'll tease that later. Casey Powell video game still rocks. Just saying thank you. You're correct. But yeah, I'm excited. Hunter Smith, you did have some other great comments, by the way. I will get to those in future shows. But we just want to appreciate everyone for tuning in. I'm excited for Brendan O'Neill, like I said. Big Brendan O'Neill guy, this guy right here. You won't hear any slander from me. And by the way, on tickets at 12onsports.com, you can get for Brendan O'Neill's game, his first game, it's as high as only $193 for like almost floor side seats. It's pretty good. And then like $33 for just like a regular ticket. So just tickets at 12onsports.com. I'm just saying. But yeah, I'm so excited. The NLL cannot come quick enough, and yet we have an entire hype up month to talk about it, just to get even more teased / pissed off it's not happening just yet. That's okay. Thanksgiving's going to come fast. Thank you so much for tuning in to this show, per usual as always. For, of course, producer Joe, I'm Michael Carvelis. But just remember, folks, for those of you that watch this show, you are the bread, you're the butter. You are, I didn't write anything down this time. How dare me? But you are the fat ass to my bread and butter. Shout out to someone who texted me earlier about that. For everyone who comes on the show as a guest, like Brendan Glasheen, thank you for all that you do by sharing your platform with us, giving us visibility, validity, and relevance. And of course, for the baddest daddy in producing history among other team members, I am Al Carvalho. Have a great rest of your day. This has been Daily Dive. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. Adios.
Thanks for watching Daily Dive. See you next time.